The first, but not the last. The first woman and Black American to lead the iconic Museum of Science and Industry. A longtime successful leader in the museum field. A leader in the community, taking the challenges of her past and using them to create a triumphant future. Her career coming full circle, turning her focus to educating the next generation in STEM. Our guest, Chevy Humphrey, Black and powerful. All right, hello. How are you doing, Chevy Humphrey?
I am doing awesome. I'm in Chicago.
Yes. Now, I have to start by asking, why did your parents name you Chevy? Because the Bible says the greatest gift you can give a child is a good name. So why did your parents name you Chevy?
My parents named me Chevy because actually they named me after a street in a car. So my first name's after a street and my second name's after a car. And I think they named me that because I'm always moving. I'm always going and always wanting to get there and reach that goal.
I like that. Did they think that when you came out, they were like, she was ready to go when she came out?
Yeah, my mother said you never sit still. And I always like to help others and do more. And it's just a part of who I am. I'm never settled. I always want to go and move.
I've never met a Chevy, so that's why I had to ask you, what is it related to Chevrolet? You know, did a family member work there? Also, so, you know, we had so much fun stuff in common. Where'd you go to undergrad?
Undergrad, I went to University of Phoenix.
Oh, University of Phoenix, but you're from Houston.
I'm from Houston,
okay.
And I moved to Phoenix as a single parent. I didn't know one soul. Except for the person who hired me. And everybody thought, oh my goodness, she's moving there as a single parent, didn't know anyone, and how is she going to take care of that little girl? And I wanted to show and prove that I wanted to be a CEO of a nonprofit organization, and I wanted to realize my dream. I took a $20,000 pay cut, got in the car, and went to Phoenix.
Wow. And look where you are today. Let's go back to the most moving moment you described in your childhood in elementary school. A teacher made an aha moment for you. Talk about what happened in elementary school.
Well, it wasn't a really pleasant story. And I won't say her name, but I'll call her Mrs. Z. I was a precocious child. I always wanted to ask questions, and I was always inquisitive. And I went up to Mrs. Z and I said, I want to do this. And she said, well, you know, you're lazy and you won't ever achieve those goals because you always ask questions. That motivated me. That was a hard lesson because asking questions and wanting to know more is healthy. And I used that opportunity and to shape where I was going and who I was going to be. I later went back after I became the first Black American CEO of a science center in the United States. I went back and I saw Mrs. Z. And I said, I have become the president and CEO of Arizona Science Center. You know what she said to me? Well, I'm glad you're not lazy anymore.
Wow. I think about that when I read that statement, because what motivates us as young people, and you have always said you wanted to be a CEO when people didn't even know what that meant in 7th grade, in 8th grade, in high school, and you've always known you wanted to be that. Where does that come from?
It came from actually my father. He made me the CEO of the household. I was responsible for taking care of the house when I was younger, and so I knew how much money came in, I wrote the checks, I paid the bills. He made me CEO of the organization, and so I did that well. So when I got my first job at Baskin & Robbins, I worked there for one day and I went to the manager and I said, how do I become a manager? And he gave me a list. I did the list and I was a manager of Baskin & Robbins. So I've always wanted to lead. I always wanted to ensure that an organization could go to its next level. And I love to bring the people along with me.
And You are making history once again here in Chicago. You're now being mentioned in the names with Lonnie Bunch and Kevin Young, but you are the first African American and the first woman to become the CEO of the largest museum in the country, perhaps the world. What does that mean, and how does that feel to you?
Well, I'm very humbled, and it's a huge responsibility, and a huge responsibility to pay it forward. Because if young women, young men, black and brown children can see it, then they can be it. And I was fortunate to be able to see a lot of mentors and a lot of people that were ahead of me. And I saw it and I knew I could be it. And so it represents a lot. And I'm very humbled, and I take full responsibility of making sure that I'm mentoring others so that they can realize their full dream.
This franchise is called Black and Powerful. Are they different? Are they the same? And what does that mean to you?
I think being black is a blessing. And I think powerful is when you see others that you mentor and that you help be successful. Because it's about creating a collaborative fellowship of strong black Americans reaching their goals and doing what they set out to do.
In this role as the new CEO, you said it was very important to reach out to the black and brown communities to introduce STEM and to elevate the STEM learning. Why is that important to you?
It's important because science is everywhere. And today, with COVID and all the things that we're dealing with, science is more important than ever. And we need to inspire our young people, our young black and brown people, to commit to the STEM fields. We are so fortunate to have so many leaders in the science world, but we need more diversity. There are very few women, much less very few minorities, that are leaders in the science industry, and we need to build and promote that to make our community better.
After someone told you you were lazy, look at where you are now. I mean, this young girl, you know, every year coming to the Museum of Science and Industry, we had to earn a field trip to be in this prestigious learning center. And now I'm interviewing, you know, decades later, the new CEO, the woman who looks like me, you know, and she has dreams like me. I'm so honored. And speaking of being blessed, I feel so blessed to be sitting in this position, being able to do that. So if I can in any way help you, because I'm so excited when I, you know, it came in, I was like, oh my God, I'm in the museum and I got it all myself. So, I mean, you have been, what you said, been in the basement for 20 years in a science center, and now you have an office with windows. What is that like?
You know, it's perspective. I have an opportunity to dream even more because those windows are to infinity. It's to Lake Michigan. You're looking beyond. So it gives me that excitement. But no matter where I am, I still have the passion and the vision to wanting to help grow our STEM community and inspire these young people to be and to follow their dreams. That's really critical, that opportunity. If I had not seen the mentors and the people that helped me aspire, I wouldn't have known what a CEO was. Yeah. That's really critical, that we provide those opportunities for young people to see that they can be anything that they want to be.
Mm-hmm. Scientist, you call yourself a scientist.
I call myself a STEMinist.
Oh, look at you. Mm-hmm. A STEMinist, please detail.
I'm a woman who loves STEM, so I'm a STEMinist.
Is that, did you patent that, copyright that, or?
No, it was just something we discussed at a meeting that we said, you know, we're women, and we need to be proud that we are women in STEM. And so we created the name STEMinist.
I love that. I'm going to call my niece that when I check in on her, because that's a really powerful name. I read somewhere that your first trip working in Phoenix, at that Science Center was here to the Museum of Science and Industry, and you said,
I walked in and I looked at the grandeur and I told my then boss, I'm going to work here one day. And she said to me, well, you need to do your work in Phoenix first. And I said, all right. So I did my job in Phoenix and I'm here. And it is, I can't tell you how excited I am, how honored I am, but we have a lot of work to do.
when you say that, what is the work?
The work is building relationships, stronger relationships, inclusive relationships in our community. I want to take science outside of these walls. I want to take science into communities. I want vans, I want buses, I want our team in communities bringing science to people so that they understand that this is what we have to offer, but we will meet them where they are.
Wow. You said you wanted to go on a listening tour. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
I want to listen to everyone in the community. I want to learn. There's so much to learn about Chicago. There's so much to learn about the community. I want to learn and listen before I build a strategy on what direction we're taking this institution, because this is our institution. And it's a collective decision with the community, the board, and the staff. We have to work together to reach those goals. And so I want everybody to feel that they are a part of our vision and our mission.
What about every life experience that you've had? You know, even going back to Baskin Robbins and the teacher telling you you were lazy. You know, we all have those moments that are ingrained in our soul that inspired us to be great and to do better and have fire in our soul because they said, and we had something to prove. But collectively, all of your life historical experiences that have got you to this point, how will they play a role in what goes next, your future leadership here at MSI?
You know, I think listening, being humble, and caring about your community and having the passion to do the work that you're doing. My mother instilled in me very young, I was 7 years old, and she had a talk with me. And she said, Chevy, you have 2 strikes against you. You are black and you are a woman. So that means you need to perform at 200% so that you have 100% in your back pocket. She also said, and when people help you, you give back tenfold. That's what I plan on doing as the president and CEO of MSI Chicago, is I want to give back tenfold.
How does that sound, what you just said, as the president and CEO of MSI? I mean, how did that feel to say that?
I'm very proud to be the president and CEO, but I also understand the huge responsibility that I have to make sure we lead this organization to its next level, as well as support our community and fill the needs in our community.
Why do you think it's so much of a challenge to get black and brown students involved in STEM?
Resources. Resources. If our black and brown communities had half of the resources that some of these other districts had, that is the differentiator. It's the resources in the community, and that's what I plan on doing here as the president and CEO at MSI, is helping to provide those resources in the community so that they can have a one-up and be able to realize their full potential.
Is it going to be hard?
Oh yes, it's going to be hard. But you know what? If it wasn't hard, why do it? You know, this is an important mission. It's an important vision for our community. We all need to lean in, and we all need to be doing more and providing more to our young black and brown community. They need us, and it's our responsibility to be there for them.
I want to have some fun. What's been your favorite exhibits around here, walking and chatting and learning? What's brought you fun and joy?
What's brought me fun and joy actually is meeting my team. Can you imagine meeting your team in a pandemic when most of them are off-site? So I've been doing a lot of Zooms, a lot of phone calls. As far as the exhibits are concerned, I love all the exhibits. It's like there's no favorite children. They're all my favorite children. But I just love this place. But I love walking in and seeing that tornado and science storms and looking at it saying, we are going to rock this world. We are going to make a huge difference at MSI. And that gives us all inspiration that, you know, this too shall pass. And with all the challenges that people have come into with COVID and the challenges, we are going to prevail. And science is going to help us get there.
What would be a successful leaving your mark when you retire or leave this institution? What would you consider to be successful leaving your mark?
Leaving my mark would be that we inspired the next generation of Black and brown young people to be in the STEM field, knowing that we have tripled the number of young people that are Black and brown in STEM careers. That's what I'd like to leave a mark on. And I'd also like to leave a mark on is that our audiences grow and we provide programming in every community of need in this state.
Thank you so much again, Madam President Chevy Humphrey, for your time, this extraordinary insight into your life. Congratulations on this new historic role. I am looking at excellence, and I wish you nothing but the best blessings as you take the Museum of Science and Industry to the next level here in Chicago. It's going to be exciting to watch, and we appreciate everything, and I know it's going to be a wonderful ride for you and your team. So stay Black and powerful.
Thank you.